The Dead is a zombie movie directed by the Ford brothers. It is a lower budget British production about an American military engineer who survives a plane crash and falls somewhere in Africa and must survive the, zombie-filled hordes and, desert conditions of Africa. So this movie has been on my list for a while. I love zombie movies. I've watched like everything, literally everything. The only things I won't watch zombie are lower budget stuff. I mean like micro budget, like ones that look crappy. I'll watch anything with good production values as long as I've heard good things. So anyways, The Dead is about an American military engineer, and he starts the film with an AK-47, and he's got Arabian desert wear, and he sees a zombie coming towards him with a broken leg, but he doesn't shoot it. But he sees one with a military uniform and shoots that one so he can get his bullets and whatever supplies it has. It's kind of a economical, stark opening of the movie. And then we get the plane crash, him surviving, and him basically working his way through the African villages. So this movie, the first half hour is pretty stark. There's barely any dialogue in this movie. It almost feels like a silent film. I was quite digging the aesthetic. It's just, sound effects of a man, starting a truck, occasional gunshot, occasional zombie attack. And then he bumps into a soldier who's trying to find his son. So they decide to team up, and they go through a series of adventures, survival, watching each other's backs, things like that, meeting people. They have a scene where they meet, they need food and water, so they stop at this village, and the village is there, and they have enough like supplies, but they're going to run out eventually. And one of the main themes of the movie is like, why don't you just leave, And the leader of the encampment goes, we were born here and we'll die here. And that's probably like one of the more interesting parts of the movie. Then the movie just ends without any resolution. And that kind of pissed me off. And I was kind of like, I've been watching these characters for 80 minutes and you're going to end it with nothing. And that was kind of like a kick in the face. It was kind of insulting because, you're kind of sitting there. And then, as you think on, you realize there's a lot of nothing going on in this movie. It's literally just a man walking around Africa shooting at zombies occasionally, and he's got to get home to his family. And then the African man also wants to find his family. And the movie ends without giving you any resolution. So, I felt the movie was kind of like almost like it felt kind of half-assed by the end of the movie, because I was like, I've been sitting here waiting, watching these people on their journey, and I don't get anything. And so in that case, let's talk about everything else. The acting's fine. The production values are great. The African setting is cool. The zombies look fine. The action's very old school, like George A. Romero. Lots of bright blood, practical effects, no visual effects. So, on a technical level, the film is fine. The story's not really there. It's not even existent. There's barely any arcs for the characters. It's just basically a series of events and with no resolution. So The Dead is a very weak zombie film. There is a sequel called The Dead 2 India. I probably will not be checking that one out. So I give The Dead a 3 out of 10.